Okay, Rhonda, we're live.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Perth East Council meeting this Tuesday, March the 16th. We'll call the meeting to order. If everyone could please bow their heads for a moment of reflection. Thank you. We need a motion to confirm the agenda. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add? No? Okay, so moved by Amanda, second by Jeremy. All in favor? Carried. If you have pecuniary interest, you can disclose that now or as the meeting goes along. We have 16 items under our consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone would like pulled? Hugh? You're muted, Hugh. You're muted.
5.1.1, just a correction on the minutes, that's all.
Okay, well, do you want to do that now? What do you need corrected?
Just the letter to about Brockstand Museum, it wasn't to the Brockstand Museum, it was to the Stratford Perth Museum, and in the minutes it's to the Brockstand Museum Group. That's the only change, that's all.
Okay, thanks. Andrew, did you want something pulled?
Just a clarification on 5.1.4, item 2.2, the hours on the library. I don't know if we need to pull it or I can just ask a quick question.
I think you can ask the question.
So is this increase in hours just a reopening for the reopening strategy, or is it an increase in the planned hours for operation?
I can answer that.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, it's just an increase in our reopening. So we cut back the hours and now we're just trying to get back up to our regular hours of operation.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, anyone else with any questions? See no questions. Okay, we have a motion to receive all the items under the consent agenda. So we have a mover, Andrew and Jerry. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we have no delegations. We have no public meetings or public hearings. So we'll move right to the planning report. We have an application for a farm severance and we're going to turn it over to Adam. So Adam, the floor is yours. Welcome to Perth East.
First of all, can everybody hear me okay and clearly? Okay. Your worship, members of council, thank you and good evening. I'm going to share screen and just walk everybody through this application. And can everybody see the GIS map in front of them? And can everyone see my cursor floating around?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the application before council tonight is for a surplus farm dwelling severance, and this is for Avendy Farms Poultry Limited. The subject property is it's on Road 109, and it's a corner lot between 109 and line 37. And this property is about halfway between Shakespeare and Stratford, just north of Highway 7. The survey sketch submitted with the application shows the entire property, including the poultry barns and the existing dwelling at the more or less the south end of the lot. And the surplus farm dwelling before us tonight is on line 37. The driveway is off of line 37, and it contains an existing dwelling and a frame shed, and the septic system is over to the west side of the lot. The report photo also shows this area is pretty much heavily wooded. There's been no agricultural activity south of this property. The tilled area begins basically down here where the Avon River comes through. So staff have reviewed the application in accordance with provincial and county policies. Staff have no objections to the application. This application conforms with the requisite policies. And we've included a number of conditions of consent that are fairly typical for surplus farm dwelling properties. I would be happy to answer any questions that council might have. Thank you.
Okay. Can you put the screen back, please, so I can see everyone?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions for Adam? No questions. Okay, you got off easy. Okay, so we do have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report entitled Application for Consent to Sever Surplus Farm Dwelling Number B60-20 by Avondale Farms Poultry Limited, affecting lands described as Lot 31, Concession 2, Northeast Hope Ward, Township of Perth East, 4158 Road 109, dated Tuesday, March 16, 2021, prepared by the County Planning Department for information, and that Council of the Township of Perth East recommends that the County of Perth Land Division Committee or its designate approve the application for consent to sever surplus farm dwelling number B60-20 made by Avondale Farms Poultry Limited, subject to the following conditions. And I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest of the conditions. So number 1, that confirmation be received from a solicitor that the certificate of the official will be scanned and attached to electronic registration. Number 2, the counties be provided with a description that is consistent with the application and equal to that required for registration of the deed or transfer. Number 3, that the Land Division Committee, Secretary Treasurer, that the notice signed and frame has been posted. Number 4, that confirmation be received that the property owner has entered into an agreement with the County of Perth to prohibit any new permanent residential dwellings. Number 5, that the Township of Perth East, that all taxes have been paid in full. Number 6, that confirmation be received from the Township of Perth East that all financial requirements have been met. Number 7, that the confirmation from the Township of Perth East that an apportionment schedule for municipal drains are reviewed and updated. And number 8, that confirmation be received by Township of Perth East an amendment to the implementing zoning bylaw be adopted to zone a proposed severed lot to permit only a dwelling and accessory uses. And the zoning bylaw amendment will also rezone the retained farm lot to establish a resulting retained lot area as minimum required lot area and prohibit any new permanent residential dwellings on the retained farm lot. So do we have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Daryl. Second by Hugh. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried.
Yeah, Your Worship, members of council, thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thanks, Adam, and you have a good night as well. Okay, so we have no reports from the CAO, no reports from clerk. Where'd you go? Then we move to finance. So the first one is the 2021 financial budget, final budget, excuse me, and Rhonda, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. So the report in front of you tonight, it recaps the 2021 corporate budget for the Township of Perth East as reviewed by the Budget Advisory Committee on January 19th and February 25th. The total general policing levy increase is 1.06%. And there is one extra note in the report stating the fact that we have received another $77,197 in COVID relief funding, and that can be carried forward into reserve if required next year rather than this year. So we will reconcile COVID costs and advise council if which fiscal year we should put that funds into. And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Rhonda. Is there any questions for Rhonda? Hugh? Hugh, do you have a question?
Just a quick question. When you're on page 75, you do library and library board. Is there a particular reason why you break it down into two separate reports there, Rhonda?
Yes, the reason for that is the library section is actually the expense, the levy section that the township pays to the library board. And if you go to the library board section, it's like fund accounting. It's their set of books, and that shows the money coming in from us and into their budget.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any more questions? Seeing no questions, we do have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive the report entitled 2021 Final Budget dated March 16, 2021, prepared by the Treasurer for information, and that bylaw 16-2021 being a bylaw to adopt the final estimates of all sums required by the Township for the year 2021 be given 3 readings. Moved by Jerry. Second by Amanda. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the next item is the 2021 tax rate and tax policy. Rhonda?
Okay, the tax rate bylaw, it authorizes the tax rates that are required to fund the 2021 corporate budget for the township as well as the county. And it also includes the education rates as approved by the province. And if there's any questions, I will try to answer them. Thanks.
Okay, do we have any questions for Rhonda? Hugh?
Rhonda, did we move for the multi-residentials? We moved to the one for them too, did we not?
That's correct.
Okay.
There was a phase-in with the goal to reach the one ratio similar to the regular residential, and that has been reached this year.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Seeing no questions, Council of Township of Perth East received the report prepared by the Treasurer dated March 16, 2021, entitled 2021 Tax Rate and Tax Policy for Information, and that bylaw 17-2021, being a bylaw to adopt the annual tax rates for the year 2021, be given 3 readings. By Amanda. Second by Carol. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, and the third item is the council remuneration and expense report. Rhonda?
Okay, this is the annual council remuneration report, and it's required for public reporting, and it's under the Municipal Act. The table within the report outlines the 2020 council remuneration. If there's any questions, I will try to answer them.
Okay, is there any questions for Rhonda on the expense chart? Nope. Okay. Council of the Township of Perth East received a report prepared by the Treasurer dated March 16, 2021, entitled Annual Council Remuneration and Expense Report for Information. Moved by Jeremy. Second by Amanda. Any more questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, anything else, Rhonda?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And now we move to Public Works tender results. Wes?
So we're very happy with the results this year for calcium. A little bit lower than last year's price, approximately $5,000 less. And the difference between second and low was $900. So very competitive.
Very good. Very good. Any questions for Wes? No questions. Council of the Township of Perth East received a report entitled PW 2021-01, Supply and Apply Dust Suppressants dated March 16, 2021, prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information, and it confirmed by this resolution, tender PW 2021-01 for the supply and application of dust and suppressants be awarded to 552976 Ontario Limited for the unit price of 0.0797 per liter excluding HST. We have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Andrew. Second by Darrow. Anything else, Wes?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have nothing from building, nothing from recreation. So then we move to fire. We have the fire services agreement. So Bill, the floor is yours.
Thank you. This report is in response to the annexation of land from Perth South into the city of Stratford and the need to revise the response boundaries in section 14 of the agreement. There was also a couple housekeeping changes that needed to be put in. The report was presented to the Joint Advisory Committee back in February, and they recommended adoption by both councils. It's also on the agenda tonight at the Perth South meeting, and I'll gladly try and answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Bill? No questions. Okay, Council of the Township of Perth East received a report entitled Fire Services Agreement Amendment dated March 16, 2021, and prepared by the Fire Chief for information, and that 3 readings be given to Bylaw 18-2021, enacting this agreement and amend Bylaw 29-2015 with the Township of Perth South. We have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Jeremy. Second by Hugh. Are there more questions? All in favor? Carried. You have anything else, Bill?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move to correspondence. We have 3 items under correspondence. The first item is a letter from Mr. Drake about access to property, concession 12, lot 19. What would you like to do with that? Darrell?
Give me a minute. You're good.
Good.
Ashley, have you got any calls from I believe there's a Mr. Gerber who owns a neighboring farm around there. Have you heard anything on this lately?
From Mr. Gerber, sorry, is that who you said?
Yes, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, I have not heard anything from Mr. Gerber. There is another neighbor that I have heard from. Council may recall we did receive a request, and Thomas Drake has mentioned that in the correspondence, and that original request was not municipal land. This new request is owned by the township. So I would recommend that council defer it to staff for a follow-up report.
Darrell?
Yeah, no, of course, Ashley, and that's what I was going to say. We need to get this to staff for a follow-up report, and of course, make sure we do our due diligence with neighbors, and let's go from there. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any questions? So we have a motion then that the Council of Township of Perth East receive the correspondence from Thomas Drake dated January 21st, 2021 regarding access to concession 12, lot 19 for information, and that it be referred back to staff for a follow-up report. We have a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Darrell, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the second item of correspondence is from John Nader in regards to the Green and Inclusive Community Building Program Fund. What would you like to do with this? Do we need a staff report, or can we just receive it for information? Andrew?
I'm not sure if this looks like a unique program, not like pre-budget consultation. So I'm not sure. Is it our benefit to spend staff time on this and get money, or will there'll be stuff rolling out that we can pick through it? It's just gonna flip my screen here to look at John's request. Is it request that we take advantage of this through some type of conversation?
He's inviting the township to participate in the consultation, inform Infrastructure Canada how they can design a fund that is compatible with the projects in our riding. So do we have projects? Who in staff can tell me? Teresa?
Oh, or Rhonda?
Or Rhonda? Who?
I wasn't going to comment on the projects per se, but I was just going to make a comment with regards to tying in green projects and climate change with our asset management plan. And our asset management plan does reference climate change and green projects. And at the time that we passed our asset management plan, it was fairly generic, but we will probably improve and build on that. And just for council's information, that finance will be participating in an asset management Ontario workshop on climate change and green projects with your asset management plan. I just want to make a note that any assets and projects for building should tie in with your asset management plan. I'm sure you're sick of hearing about the asset management plan, but that's probably what we should be doing.
Okay. Andrew?
So I guess I'm asking if it's our benefit to spend staff time to contact MP Nader's office and participate in this, or ask how to participate. I need an opinion, I guess, before I make a motion.
Okay, Daryl?
No, Andrew's alluding where I was going to go. We need to know how to participate and recommend who should be participating. It's kind of loose. It sounds a little fishy. Whatever. Yeah, let's get some more information here if we could. Thanks.
Okay, Teresa?
So staff will be collecting more information, and I think it would be good for participation in it as well. As Rhonda indicated, in terms of with climate change and green energy and asset management, we need to have more information together with some of these projects as well to bring forward.
Okay, thank you. So is anyone prepared now to make a motion? Andrew?
I guess receive for information.
Okay. Do we have a seconder for that? Daryl? So the motion is that the Council Township of Perth East received the correspondence from John Nader, MP, Perth Wellington, received March 9, 2021, Green and Inclusive Community Buildings Program Fund for information. Amanda?
So the motion is we're receiving for information, but there's no action item on that. So I just trying to get some clarity because this is just my 2 cents. If John is asking us to participate, it's probably for good reason. He's a former municipal councillor himself from West Perth, and I think that it's to our benefit to participate. So I'm just unclear. If we're receiving it for information, it means that there's no action technically on that. So I would like to see us actually participate. And certainly, staff can look into who it is best to participate, whether it's staff or whether it's, a member of council. I don't know, but that would be my only concern with this motion, is that there's no action with it. It's just saying we're receiving for information.
Okay, do you want to move an amendment?
I'd like to remove an amendment if it's okay with the mover.
Well, if you move it and we have a seconder, we'll vote on the amendment first and then the motion.
Okay, sounds good.
So amendment moved by Amanda. Do we have a seconder for the amendment that staff participate in the consultation? Okay, so Daryl's going to second it. Okay, so first we vote on the amendment, and then we vote on the whole motion with the amendment if the amendment gets passed. You're really testing my parliamentary procedure tonight. Okay, so let's do the amendment first. So the amendment is that staff participate in the consultation. All in favor of that? Okay, that's carried. And then the motion is that we receive it for information and participate in the consultation. All in favor of that? Okay, it's all carried. Thank you. Okay, and then the third item under correspondence is a letter of fire safety grant announcement. Do we need, I don't think we need to do anything with that, do we, Bill? Just receive it for information?
You could receive it for information. There will be a report coming back to council once I put the application in. The timelines for the application are very tight. The fire marshal wants this back in by Friday. So he has identified in the letter that the fire chief can basically accept the grant on behalf of the municipality and have council approve it at a later council meeting. So we're still waiting to hear back from a couple vendors on some items and the costing.
Okay, thanks, Bill. So then how be the motion be that the Council of Township of Perth East receive the correspondence from John Pegg, Ontario Fire Marshal, dated March 11, 2021, fire safety grant announcement for information, and that staff prepare a report to come back at a later date. Is that all right? We have a mover, Jeremy. Second, Daryl. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, so the next item is committee reports. There is no mayor's log. It was at the last meeting. Do we have any reports from any council members and any of the committees that they sit on? Jerry?
Just from the Melverton Business Association, held their annual general meeting here a couple of weeks back, and our very own Jeremy Matheson remains as president. So we have a number of initiatives coming up for the coming year. Well, obviously with some changes, but that's all I have to report.
Okay, does anyone else have any reports they wish to give? No? Okay, so then we need a motion to receive Jerry's verbal report for information. Moved by Andrew. Second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we do have 4 bylaws. First one is a bylaw to amend bylaw 84, 2018 to appoint the appointment of fence viewer and livestock valuer, bylaw 1621 to adopt the final estimates of all sums required by the municipality for the year 2021. Bylaw 17, 2021, a bylaw to adopt the tax levies for the coming year of 2021. And the fourth one is a bylaw to amend 29, 2015, being a bylaw to authorize the joint fire services agreement with the Township of Perth South. So do we have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Daryl. Second by Amanda. Comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, we don't have a closed session. Do we have any notice of motions? New business? Announcements? Wow, this is a record. It's only 7:30, people. Okay, great. All right. So we have a bylaw that the number 19, 2021 being our bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Township of Perth East at its regular meeting held March 16, 2021 21 be read a first, second, and third time. Moved by Daryl, second by Jerry. All in favor? Carried. And a motion to adjourn, that the meeting of council be adjourned at 7:30. Moved by
Full
Daryl.
daylight.
Yep, scary. Second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Short and sweet, but we got a lot covered. So thanks, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you all again in a couple weeks.